Hey, so I just moved into a new studio and I just thought it'd be kind of fun just to give you a little tour because I totally was not expecting to move into this place. But now that I have, and I'll explain that in just a little bit, but now that I have, I don't know, I thought maybe I'd kind of show you around and show you what I want to do with this space, how I'm going to use this space, and you might, see it in a bunch of future videos. So I'm kind of treating this as like a non-traditional video studio. In a traditional studio, it is basically all blacked out, right? You have lights, maybe up on the ceiling, green screen backdrop, curved floor, that type of thing. But this is a 17 foot by 31 foot space. And I'm going to be using this as kind of like the main shooting area. And so what it has is like, some different texture backdrops. So we got this stone backdrop, we have a wood backdrop right here, plain white. I've got the paper up there that we can drop down and just have different shooting areas in there where, it kind of just changes up the look that if somebody wants to come in here and shoot, they have different backdrops that they can choose from. Oh, I also have this over here. This is, brick wall basically, stone wall. So part of the plan with this space is to actually use it as a shell structure for production teams to rent out if they're looking for like a non-traditional studio space to use. And in the pricing structure that I have, the lights are going to be included in that, but basically it's the shell and the lights. If you need a production hand, I can definitely help, or other people can help. Or if you need to rent other gear like cameras or microphones, things like that, those are all like additional costs. So this structure, this area, this 17 by 31 foot area is like the main studio spot, non-traditional video studio. Now I'm also going to treat this space as a content creator studio, and that's really where my main focus with this area, I think that's where my main focus is going to go with this area. And with the content creator studio, how would I explain it? So it's basically for people that are trying to make their own video content rather than having a studio like in their house or their basement or in their office. They come here that with sets that are already set up, basically like, I'll give some examples here in just a sec, but you just come for an hour and you batch shoot your content. So maybe it's like training videos, or maybe it's like your end of somebody else's podcast, or maybe it's a live stream that you're doing and you're, talking about products. But anybody that is, whether they consider themselves a content creator or not, this will be a space that they can come and then batch shoot their content and either take the files with them to edit themselves, send to a remote editor, or obviously I offer some editing services that I can do right here. All right, before I kind of explain the content creator studio concept to you, let me just give you a quick tour of some of the other spots in this office, in the studio. Again, we have the main shooting area, and then this right here is just my spot right here where I just spend a lot of my time, editing time. I've got some personal items up here, traditional vintage style cameras, and I might do this. This is an old Lumix camera that that my mom had. Look at that. Look at that thing. 5.0 megapixels, mega optical image stabilization on that one. So, pictures of my fam. This is main editing area. It's a mess right now, but you know what? I'm not ashamed. I can show you. I'm more than happy to show you. Just working on some edits today for a client. So this is the main working area. Right here is the charging deck, right? So, charging batteries. I'm all rigged up for a shoot for this evening, and got some batteries in here. Monitors. This is where I'm going to keep a bunch of the cords. I don't have everything in the spots where I want them yet, but for the most part, I have things kind of set up where I want. I just have a lot of like odds and ends of things, just like random pieces of gear that are just all over the place. So I need to like take a day and just organize everything. And I feel like I'd be much calmer as a person. I don't totally know if that's true, but I feel like I would be much calmer as a person. Okay, here we go. This, I don't know if it's bright enough. I can't get any brighter. Maybe I'll jump up to ISO. I'll just boost the ISO a little bit. This is a bad way to shoot, but this is the camera locker. So again, I'm not very organized right now, but this is where I'm keeping the cams. The OG up here, GH5. The GH7 I'm going to use on the shoot tonight. S5-2X. Got a couple S5s in here. S5-2, GH6, G9-2. Right now I'm shooting on the S9. I don't really keep the S9 in here. That usually stays in my bag. Anyway, gaff tape. Always need gaff tape. This locker right here is just a bunch of odds and ends of stuff that I was talking about. So, you know, slider, other lights, a bunch of cords, charging cables, odds and ends of things. Why isn't that staying open? I don't know why that's not staying open. What do I have in here? I don't even know what I have in there. Looks like a bunch of mic stuff in there. Fog machine. Never know when you're going to need a fog machine. Oh, let's get that ISO back down. Let's go back down. There we go. Then this is my little kitchen I got in here. And again, everything's a mess, but coffee is crucial. Always have coffee. I've got more storage up in here. Got some of the cases if I go on set. This is my audio case, camera case up there. Then I just have a bunch of like rig components in here, like mat boxes, a bunch of cage accessories. This is more like follow focus stuff, other cords for powering like Adamus monitors. I've got like a bunch of filter things in here for ND filters and all that. A bunch of other storage. Usually that white crate down there, I usually take on set with me. This is an old Ronin M that I'm going to be selling. If anybody wants an old Ronin M, the batteries are bad. The batteries are really bad. Actually, I don't even think the batteries work. I think overall the audio in here is not too bad. I mean, it's not too echoey. I've had a few shoots in here, and so it's been kind of interesting just learning, the different quirks that this room has. Now, one of the things like right out this window right here is the trash cans, the trash bins. And so like Thursday mornings, the trash truck comes, the garbage truck comes and empties the trash bin. So Thursday mornings, it gets really noisy right around 9 a.m. So that's good to know, because if I have people in here, trying to shoot some interviews, Thursday morning at 9 a.m. is not going to be a good time to do that. Now there's a marketing company that was in this building, and this is their old podcast room. So these sound panels were already up here. So I didn't have to put any of these sound panels up. It is damp in here, like sound-wise, it's damp in here. Some of the curtains, I put a rug down. All those things are helping. My sound panels I put up on this wall over here, and here my sound panels aren't doing like a whole lot to this room, because you'd probably want them more in this main area. But I wanted them up because I think they look cool, and maybe in this area they help just a little bit, kind of dampen the sound, maybe like this direction right here. So yeah, that's the space, and I did want to just kind of spend some time explaining, the whole like content creator studio concept as well, because one thing, it's like you have a shell, a traditional video studio, you go in, you have the shell, and you create a set that's in there, and usually the production company or the studio itself has like all the cameras and everything that they're setting up basically every time for that particular shoot. And so with the content creator studio, how I have it envisioned, and I'm starting to get the word out locally a little bit more about what this is, because there's a lot of people who are trying to make their own content, and they're trying to do it like in their noisy house or in their noisy office. But if they can get out of there and just have a spot where they can focus on making their own content, I think is going to be beneficial for them, just to be able to get some high quality, great sounding, great looking video content that they can share with their viewers and potential clients and things like that. And so how this is going to work, I have 3 different video sets that I can set up in this space with the different backdrops that we have. And how this is going to work is like, the first set is just going to be just a straight on talking head set where you're sitting at a desk. I actually have the desk is over there. Okay, I've used it in a lot of my videos on this channel. That's the desk, and it's just a 1-cam setup. And basically I sell this content creator, an SD card that they come with the SD card, the camera set up, and they just rent that set for an hour, and they just batch shoot as much stuff as they want. Now, there will be some options of like, if you want to live stream during that is definitely an option. And you can have different mic choices as well. Like you can use like more of the podcast style mic, or you can use a lapel mic like this, or if you want a shotgun mic, you have your choice of mics, but you do not have choice of adding multiple cameras. And that's what's different about, kind of setting up these as like an individual shoot that I would normally do for like an interview. This is just, you come in, you get 1 camera, you shoot your content, and then you get out, basically. You know what I mean? I do offer editing if you need that edited, but basically you take those files and you go with it. It's a place to shoot your content, batch shoot it, and get it done. All right, so that's the first set, just the talking head, simple talking head. The second set is a podcast set, right? So a podcast set, which I can do with the couches, which is going to be a little bit more casual of a set, or I also have a table coming, and I will be able to set you up on a table if you would rather have a little bit more formal of a podcast set. And this can be up to 4 people and 3 cameras. So with that set, obviously it's going to be more expensive for that time period, but you can batch shoot some podcast episodes. And with the emphasis that, like YouTube is putting on podcasting and podcast videos, like this is perfect for those people who, kind of wanted to take their podcast to the next level and add that video element, especially some already established podcasts as well, right? Like having that video component is huge, because long form content on YouTube's pushing that stuff right now, right? So they want people to stay on those platforms as long as possible. YouTube's no different. They want you to stay on the platform as long as possible. So long form podcast style content is very popular. And so adding this option in this set right here, like what I have here, this can move to anywhere in the room, right? So it's not just stationary in this corner under these windows. You can move it wherever you want in this room and have that set up. The same goes for the table as well, if you want a little bit more, formal of a podcast setup. So that's the second set that I will be offering in the Content Creator Studio. And then the third one is a product set. So a product set, you'll have the desk, right? You'll have the desk and a talking head camera straight on that you can look at, talk to the camera, but then it's going to have a top-down view, top-down camera. So 2 cameras set up, you can have your choice of microphone, and you're at the desk. The setup doesn't change other than maybe some RGB lighting, right? You can choose from your microphones. We're not going to be setting up something separate like every single time. It's like, this is what the set is. This is what you're paying for. 2 cameras, microphone, and excellent lighting. You know what I mean? Well, this is the Video Labs. Thanks for letting me show you around. At the beginning I said that I wasn't fully expecting to move in here. It kind of became available. I had a buddy in here, his name's Jim Hughes, and he's a graphic designer for metal bands. Absolutely awesome work that he does. And he had somebody that was lined up to move in here. That fell through. It became available, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to jump on this spot. And I was not expecting to do that. It was almost like within a month, I was not moving into a new spot. by the end of the month, I was moving into a new spot, and it was kind of a whirlwind. And kind of in between all that stuff, the Japan trip with Lumix was in there as well. So, you know, I was over there for a couple of weeks. So all of these moving parts, let's just say like this past May and June have just been a whirlwind as I've been, you know, in Japan and then moving in here and now doing some more traveling this summer. It's definitely been a whirlwind. But this is it. You're gonna be seeing a lot more of it in future videos. Thanks for letting me show you around. See you in the next video.